Okay, it's 4 o'clock. Welcome to the Woburn Traffic Commission meeting on October 17th, 4 o'clock. I call this meeting to order. I'd like to remind everybody that this meeting, that it's being broadcast, and I'd ask that you turn off or silence your mobile devices. One note of interest is there's a large meeting coming in here at 5:15, so we need to be as efficient as we can with the time that we have here, so that we can allow for them to come in and get set up and get their meeting going. So please state your positions on things, but let's make sure that we don't duplicate any of the stuff that we talk about here to do it as efficiently as we can. So Lindsay, will you call the roll, please?
Sure. Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Lanning Smith.
Here.
Sorry. Commissioner DeMambro.
Here.
Commissioner Duran.
Here.
Commissioner Jolly.
Here.
Commissioner Rayum, not here. Lieutenant Smith from the fire department.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Sakarellis, not here. Commissioner Gately
Here.
and Chair Papalato.
Present. Could we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes from the last meeting on September 19th?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's passed. Lindsay, would you please introduce the first item on the old business?
First item on the old business we have is a request for 20-minute business parking limit from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday near 77 Wynn Street. I called the petitioner. I don't know if he's here. That is you. Okay. They are here. Last meeting, a couple departments were going to look into it.
Okay, so would you please come to the microphone and introduce yourself, your name and address, please?
Hi, how you doing? It's my wife, Seren. My name is Augustino Fiola.
Could you talk into the microphone, please?
My name is Augustino Fiola. It's my wife, Seren. She runs the dog groom in there. And basically, we talked about there's two cars parked there all the time, and we came up to a conclusion that's dangerous because they overhang the driveways last time we spoke about this. Now, I was just driving down the street, and like you got 2-hour parking all the way up to the Chevrolet dealer. I mean, extended another 500 yards would solve the problem. If that. And that will give, the hardware store also a benefit, but they have a huge parking lot. We have a little parking spot over there on the side. But these people, they put their car there. It's not that they move them. They leave them for days, like days on end, weeks.
So what the request was is to have 20-minute parking limit on there?
Right, well, whatever. We came up to a conclusion that it was dangerous to have two cars there, so they were gonna figure out maybe, the city yard was gonna go by and see if they could put like one car, permission to park a car, because it is dangerous parking two cars. The kids are playing over there, the garbage, if you look behind that car,
Yeah.
the garbage people have a hard time collecting garbage. I find garbage on the ground all the time. And I don't know, if there's a way we can do something.
Okay, so we heard this in the prior meeting, and I think there were a few to-dos. People were gonna go and look at the road and kind of make some comments on this. So does anyone have any feedback on this area or the request that's been made?
Through the chair, can I make the recommendation of maybe a 30-minute parking sign? And through the chair, how does Superintendent Duran feel about that?
30-minute parking is kind of tight. I would say if it's 2 hours before, 2 hours, 2 hours back at Landon's, 2 hours seemed practical to me. Do we know what the current, is there any kind of rule at all?
I can't recall. I don't remember seeing any in the traffic code.
And is there any overnight parking allowed on Wynn Street?
Overnight parking? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they overnight park all the time, which is not a problem, But there's like a specific, if you go by there, 9 out of 10 times you see a blue car sitting there, and it sits there for weeks. And I'm like, And then,
Counselor
and then
DeMambro?
another car tries to button up, overhang in the driveway, and it's very difficult when you come out of that driveway there, on the right side, to see incoming traffic, especially if they put a truck there. You can't it's kind of dangerous on both sides. Usually one car, I can understand, but usually you allow a couple of feet on both sides of the driveway. But if you put two cars and squeeze them in there, you don't have that. So we're trying
Counselor
to...
DeMambro?
From the last meeting, through the chair, to Superintendent Duran, I believe that is not an approved DPW parking lot line. I believe someone has painted that.
Yeah, somebody painted that, yeah.
Can-
I mentioned it to the clerk when I first put the petition in. She told me it was a water line. I'm like, no, I don't think so. Wait till you see it, you know?
So Superintendent Duran, that line is not,
It doesn't look like it doesn't look like a DPW painted line. I'm not saying it is or it isn't.
No, it's
but
not.
It doesn't
It's
look like
crooked.
just based on those are two small cars. And that looks pretty tight. How wide is your building?
It's 32, 32, between there.
what do you need, sir, per code that you need for room for a spot?
We just, a typical parking space is 9 by 18. A compact space.
Correct.
15, say 8 by 15. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense with what you just said and how they're overhanging, so. We really need to take a closer look at it. Maybe we can do that with police. Sergeant Stokes isn't here. I'm not sure if he was here the last meeting.
He was.
Yeah, this is old business, so this was on last
right.
meeting agenda.
Did he give any kind of input? I don't want to contradict anything he said prior.
The only information he passed on to me was that we could do some enforcement. If the car is there, a vehicle is there, parked for more than 72 hours, it can be tagged and towed,
Right.
you know?
Because last time I put a complaint, there was a truck that was at a for sale sign, a big one of those SUV trucks, the big ones. It was a Ford Ram. I mean, a Dodge Ram. And it was there for 2 weeks with a for sale sign. I called the guy. He answered because he thought I was gonna buy his truck. And I told him, I says, you can't, it's not a parking lot, you know what I mean? And it was overhanging the driveway like this. And I actually called the police, and I stopped one of the officers when they were coming down Wynn Street, and he says, oh, the guy lives over here. He kind of like, well, I'll put a 72-hour watch on it and stuff
That's
like that.
typically what we'll do is you log it, 72 hours later, if the vehicle is there and it is unmoved, hasn't been moved, we'll tow it.
But I don't want to, I know people park their cars there. We don't want to start, harassing anybody, because everybody's got a right to park. So what I was thinking, like you said, like a 2-hour parking during the day from 8 to 5 will be perfect. And then you can park all night long. I don't care. I'm not, we're not there. But at least one car should be parked there, though. I don't know how do you enforce something like that, but it is dangerous putting two cars there. Because like you said, you need 18 feet for one space. It's 32 feet.
All we can do is we can take another look at that. I'm not sure, engineering, any idea, Matt, whether engineering has any feedback on that?
No, we haven't looked at that, I don't think.
Okay.
So what is the will of the board here? Do we want to pause this and take another look at it, or is there some action that we can take to move this forward?
I think we really need to take another look at it, and if it turns out that, I need to look a little bit further into Wynn Street, parking on Wynn Street. Sometimes we curtail parking one way and then we create another problem, so I want to make sure we're not doing that.
There's one more thing that I've noticed, okay? This has got nothing to do with this, but there's the street up above there. I don't know what the name of it, Franklin, I think? All right, so there's no parking on each side of the street. The street, you go halfway down and then it becomes a one-way. I don't understand why it's a one-way halfway and it's not a one-way all the way. Because people, what they do, this is for the traffic commission, they use the back way to get through so they could come out this way. Instead, if the thing was a one-way all the way, they can't do that anymore. So they're using this for a shortcut, and it creates a lot of traffic.
It sounds like that's a separate problem than what you brought
Yeah,
forward
yeah,
here.
well,
So
yeah, it is.
let's table that for the moment. So do you want to take another look at that and
We'll,
come
we'll
back?
look at that with engineering and police and see if we
Okay.
can come up with something.
Because I
more
feel
of
like, in deference to the petitioner, we've been through this a couple times now, so we want to bring this to conclusion if we can during our next meeting, so. So we want,
Chair Papalato?
yep,
Just, I know Counselor DeMambro asked about potentially doing a time limit. If the DPW and engineering get out there and decide that might be appropriate, if they could have the right measurements for the next meeting so that they can have a
Right.
first reading on the agenda?
Yes.
Thank you.
I mean, one more thing. If I were gonna do a 2-hour time limit, and you guys wanna restrict that you can't put 2 cars there, because obviously it's not long enough, you could put a sign saying, from here on, you can park, right, or make them yellow, and only enough for 1 car space, and a 2-hour time limit. That way, you don't have 2 people parked over there all overnight, and it's, and people trying to get out of
so
their
can we
driveway.
get that in the form of a motion so we can move along here? We want to make a motion?
The motion would be that engineering, police, and DPW will take a look and have a finalized resolution by the next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
you.
motion's passed. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
The next item under old business?
There's a request for school signage near 288 Mishawam Road related to the city council special permit. I don't believe the petitioner is here. I did speak with him to let him know about this meeting, and he said he was going to continue this because he did not met with DPW or engineering about the location of the signage. At the last meeting, you guys approved the signage, but not the location. So he asked to be continued to the next meeting.
Okay.
Is that part of a city council decision?
It is, yes.
Okay.
So do we need to make a motion to push that into the next meeting?
You can just make a motion to table it to the next meeting, yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Make a motion to table this to the next meeting?
I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. New business.
Next item on the agenda, we have a request for traffic light at the pedestrian crossing at the Reeves Elementary School, 241 Lexington Street. You have the petition in front of you. I don't know if the petitioner is here. Actually, the petitioner said she could not come. Sorry.
So do we want to make some kind of motion to put this on the table to the next meeting?
I don't know if she will be able to make she said she was working, she doesn't know if she can make a 4 o'clock.
Can we take it out of order? Put it to the,
I just, perhaps maybe look into the issue and report back at next meeting?
Yeah, we can do that, like that in a form of a motion.
Sure.
make a motion to take a look at the matter further and move it to the next meeting in November.
Do I have a second there?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes.
Next item on the agenda, we have under 4B is a request for stop signs on Fowle Street to create a 4-way stop intersection with Garfield Street, as well as LED stop sign and rumble strips. The petition is in front of you. I don't know if the petitioner is here.
Petitioner is not in the room. So do we want to put a motion out there to lay this on the table for the next meeting?
Make a motion to take this item and move it to the next meeting in November.
Could I get a second there?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes.
Next item on the agenda is 4C, the request for no parking here to corner on Mill Street, Mill Terrace at Mill Street. I believe is the petitioner here? No? Okay. There's a lot of familiar faces I see in the audience, I'm sorry.
So I think
But I
we,
believe the counselor for the ward is here.
yep, so we'd like to have Counselor Marissa Bruin speak on this topic.
Good afternoon. For the record, Darlene Mercer Bruin, 22 Richard Circle, City Councilor, Ward 5. I'm not the petitioner, but I'm very familiar with the problem. There's a house not too far away that has many, many cars, and oftentimes they're parked on the street blocking driveways, blocking lines of sight. I think the police department is very familiar with this problem. I'm going to actually turn it over. Perhaps I could get some background, officer, if you wouldn't mind sharing some background about the situation.
Sure.
I truly appreciate it, but anything you can do to help out over there would be most appreciated, I think, by the neighbors. Thank you.
There's a house at the corner of Washington and Washington Circle. The driveway, this winter, we were dealing with a similar problem. The driveway itself had probably 8 to 9 cars in it. I don't know how many people live in that house, but there's a lot. And the overflow parking, especially during the winter, once the bad weather comes, there's snow, which shrinks the size of the driveway. They park on Mill Terrace, which causes a problem with the Mill Terrace residents. Where they want the sign, it's already on our parking tickets. There's no parking from 20 feet from an intersection. It would be no problem. I don't see an issue. It'd probably be helpful and mindful to the people that if you did just put a no parking sign, no parking here to corner, then it's easier for us to enforce. If we don't see it, the neighbors see somebody parked illegally, we could swing by, throw a tag on it, and then have them move it or something to that effect.
Okay, that's exactly what they're requesting. So is there some other comments anyone wants to make on this?
Matt, can you just window into that, please? So we talking right where that maroon car is?
Yeah, that's where they'll park there on the opposite side, so if a fire truck did try to get down there, it would be a problem. What the petitioner is suggesting, just some signage probably from wherever 20 feet is, sign there, sign on the opposite side of the street. It'll force them to go down the road. It is a public way. They do have a right to park on the street, but that is an illegally parked car that would be tagged.
DPW can add, by ordinance, DPW can add 20 feet, no parking 20 feet here to corner. So we can do that. I don't think this board needs to take any action at all.
No, I'm
We-
good with it.
I
We'd
think just in
prefer
the
it.
past, you guys just voted it if you wanted to sign up,
Okay.
but it doesn't have to go in the code. It's already there, I believe.
So do we need to get a motion? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Through the chair, Superintendent Duran, are you looking for a no parking sign where that burgundy car is, and on the opposite side, no parking from here to corner 20 feet?
I think what Officer Gately says with both sides, so a fire truck could,
I would do
apparatus can
both
make the turn.
sides, just so it's crystal clear, and if we don't catch it on patrol, a neighbor sees it, they call, we tag it, and if it stays there at an extended period of time, creating a hazard, it'll be towed.
Okay.
But, the first step is to get the signs up, just so it's crystal clear, there's no confusion.
Okay. Do we want to put that, oh, go ahead, sorry.
I'll make the motion if you want.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to install 2 no parking signs from here to corner on both sides of Mill Street.
Mill Terrace.
Mill Terrace, I'm sorry.
Okay, do we have a second on that? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes.
Next item on the agenda we have is under 4D is a request for stop sign on Burlington Street at intersection with Branch Drive and Thistle Street.
Is the petitioner in the room?
Yes, okay.
Would you like to come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and let us know what your position is on this?
Sharon Flynn, 6 Thornton Street. My concern is coming from the intersection of Brant, Thistle, Burlington Street, Willow. It's getting very dangerous there. So if you're coming from Wynn Street, down Thistle Road, there's a stop sign. However, the stop line is back here, and when you can't see because there's a fence at 29 Thistle obstructing your view. So you have to get beyond the intersection to see if anyone is coming to your right to get through that intersection. In the meantime, if you see you're okay for someone coming Burlington Street to your right, there are 2 other intersections coming, 2 other streets coming to your left. So if you get through that stop sign, you have to stop. You're actually through the stop sign halfway through because you can't see because of that fence. then you will have two streets coming towards you, Willow and the continuation of Burlington. So if you get through that intersection, you still have to stop to see two other streets that are coming towards you. So my alderman, I was concerned, there was an incident when I was a pedestrian, the two cars coming towards each other, missing each other, and then continued on. One coming out of Thistle and the other one coming down Burlington. They missed each other. But I was standing where those rocks are and jumped behind the rocks because they were coming towards me. Then I called my alderman, and he met me there at that intersection, Jeff Dillon. He sat there and observed the same situation that I just said. The car's coming way too fast down Burlington Street, and someone coming out of Thistle Road as well. And then you have Brant Drive straight ahead. So granted, there are stop signs on Willow and Burlington Street on this end, but they're so far back that when they stop, they figure they've stopped, and then they zoom right through, interfering with Thistle.
Yeah.
I mean, they've stopped way far back, but then they've stopped and they just continue on. The solution, can I mention your name?
We'll give him a chance to speak, don't worry.
Oh, all right. So when Jeff met me there, he got there before I did, and he was observing cars coming way too fast down Burlington, trouble getting out of Thistle. His solution was maybe putting a stop sign on Burlington Street so that they would stop, and people coming out of Thistle would have an opportunity to maybe get out safely. There's a lot of crosswalk issues there at that intersection also.
Yeah. Anything else you want to speak on?
Well, all right, you can see, also you have pictures of the fence, because I had a picture here of that fence area. But see where the stop line is? So you have to proceed way beyond that stop line and into the intersection, actually, to see if anyone's coming from your right-hand side. And then when you proceed and you say, all right, I'm okay on the right, but then you have two other road issues coming towards you to the left, from the left. Those two. The one straight ahead that you're seeing to the right of that White House, all right, that's Brant. All right, so there's the two intersections coming towards you. See, that's Burlington on the left, Burlington Street, the continuation of Burlington Street to the left. At that fork, that's Willow. And my street is to the right, coming out of, proceeding onto Willow.
See, the fence isn't there.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Would the alderman from the Ward 3 want to speak on this?
Through the chair, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
If you could show, is that solid white fence, is that 6 feet?
It's actually in Burlington.
Oh,
That's where it goes solid. It's located in Burlington.
That white fence is in Burlington?
Yeah, that's solid. It's
So I
right at
wondered if they had-
the line, yeah.
To meet a setback? Is
There's,
that
if you look, Matt, a little further on the left-hand side, you'll actually see the monument divider between Burlington and Woburn, the other side. Yeah, right there. Now, if you come across, see that fence? No, maybe some of it's in Woburn, but,
Be a woman, so I wonder what,
yeah,
through the chair, I wonder what.
there you go.
permits
There,
will the fence
there's
be?
where it transitions. Yeah, it is, some of it is in Woburn, you're correct. Right, it looks. Jeff Dillon, City Council President, Ward 3, City Councilor as well. Good evening, Chair Papalato, members of the commission. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this. It is a lot going on there. It's always been a busy intersection. I grew up right at Quimby and lived one street away in Sheridan as in my adult life. Always been busy, always been somewhat problematic. It really is somewhat of a simple solution. If you look to the left, Matt, where the two trees are coming from Burlington. Yeah, right in there. next to Mrs. Meany's yard there. Those two trees are actually heaving the sidewalk, and the DPW recently did a great job this summer removing trees on Thistle and Brant that were doing the same thing and repaired the sidewalk. So I'm never one to say take down a tree or take down two trees in this matter, but when it becomes a practical matter of safety, I'm going to go with the safety over a tree anytime. And you'll see right there at the arrow where that sidewalk is heaving pretty good. What I would suggest is take both trees down, and so you can see the stop sign, and put the stop sign where the pedestrian is walking as close as you could there. Now, I know stop signs are for people to stop and not to control speed, but with today's technology on Waze, whenever 128 gets backed up, they all come right down off of Wynn Street, cut down, and use that, which is fine, it's a public street, but unfortunately, they still think they're on 128. And I know I should be calling it 95, but I'm old, I'm gonna call it 128. So they still think they're on 128, so I think that stop sign there, which is a fairly inexpensive solution to fix what I consider a problem as well, and the neighborhood does, it would be a great safety, and also, just by design, it would slow people down and help with that intersection. And I know other neighbors are supporting this, and also in the audience is Paul Scanlon Jr., who lives on Thistle Street, who I met out there as well. So I'm not going to take any more time. I'm just going to say I really support this, and I hope the commission does as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, do we have some thoughts on this one?
Is there anybody else?
That's it.
Okay. When I went there, and I was dead set against this. I went there last night, and I went there today. And I saw the speed of the cars going today. Now I'm all for it. So I didn't think, there's 5 stop signs.
There's a lot of stop
There's
signs.
a lot of different, there's a whole bunch of geometry. There's trees, so the tree thing may need a public shade tree hearing to eliminate the trees. I think probably both trees to give a line of sight. But I'm telling you, 100% switch. What I saw today and the speed of the cars, I support Alderman Dillon's idea, I guess, of putting a stop sign right there. And I'm totally against, I think there's way too many stop signs. I won't get on the bandwagon. I know we got a hearing coming up, but if ever there's a place for 5 stop signs in the immediate area, this is it.
Okay. Councilor DeMambro?
I was there this afternoon, and I have to say, I pulled the nose of my truck pretty much right out onto Burlington Street. The line of sight with that fence in the way is a problem, and I do believe that if you did put a stop sign right where it's being suggested, at least that gives somebody a chance to gauge that intersection a little bit better, because again, I was sticking my nose way out and constantly looking to the left for traffic, because there's the 2 roads coming towards you on Burlington and Willow. I'm in support of this. Thank you.
We agree. Police agree with them.
Okay. So it sounds like we have violent agreement on this one. Can we get a motion on this one?
Make a motion to put or install a stop sign on Burlington Street. I believe that would be in the easterly direction, and also through Superintendent Duran to remove the tree.
Can you, for my purposes, can you separate those?
Sure.
Because he has to have a tree hearing for the trees.
Okay.
I think he does.
So
That's his jurisdiction.
So my motion will be just to install a stop sign on
On Burlington Street at Brant Drive?
at Brant Drive in the easterly direction, yes.
Okay. Do we have a second on that?
Southerly direction. I think so. Southerly direction.
Southerly
Southerly,
direction.
thank you.
Southerly, thank you.
Southerly direction, okay. Do we get a second on that? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes?
Could I ask a question, and it's probably too late here, do I need to ask the city solicitor, in the interest of public safety, can we take those trees down immediately and put a stop sign up?
I think you could take that offline and ask him that.
Okay.
I don't, Tree hearings are your, like, there's rules with that, I don't know.
Right.
Would you like to send a communication through the traffic commission to him, or?
We'll take a look at it. The concrete panels are heaving. Alderman Dillon just said that, further down on Brant Drive. So the trees are inappropriate for that area, honestly. So I think we have the right, but I can discuss it with the city solicitor.
Yes, I do not know, and I'm not the city solicitor, so.
Okay. Counselor DeMembro?
Lindsay, do you need a motion to send a communication to the city solicitor?
If you'd like, or yeah, it's up to you. If you want to.
Sure, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to send a communication to the city solicitor, just to see what the legalities are on
About the trees?
removing the trees
Get a second on
as a
that?
safety hazard.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes.
Sorry, just writing it down.
So we're up, last item on the agenda.
Last item on the agenda, sorry, was writing the last motion down. Last item on the agenda we have as a 4E is a request for no parking here at a corner sign on Nashua Street at Green Street. The petitioner is here. I've been looking at her all night. I know, right? Sorry.
Could you state your name and address, please?
Karen Hunt, 147 Green Street. I'm requesting a no parking sign coming down Green starting at 125 to the corner of the intersection, which is 82 Nashua Street. When certain houses have parties, they line all the way up right to the intersection. Also, landscaping trucks are at the tail end of that intersection going up. So you get 3 landscaping trucks. I've literally had to go out and help people try and cross the intersection because they can't get by it. There's absolutely no way of getting through. Put a no parking sign from appropriate area to the intersection would help 100%, considering how nice that intersection is and how dangerous it is. Like the other petitioner said, they have to, you guys went, you had to pull all the way out to see. That's what they have to do at that intersection. You have to pull out on Green Street and come down.
So
So
I
if you
live in that,
keep going back up, right from that corner, going up Green Street, right where that car is, no parking, all up to where that white car is, if not further. They park, the construction trucks or landscaping trucks park on that side. You can't see coming out. There's no way that person can look up the hill. And then if there is a party on Green Street, which there is, it's lined all the way up Green Street, which even makes it worse. But there's no visibility. You have to literally pull out, put your nose on Green Street to see up the hill. Granted, the speeding doesn't help, but they go through the stop sign. So if there's a car there and you're going through the stop sign, you hit. So if there's any way, I asked when Paul Medeiros was our alderman years ago, and it was shot down. I'm asking again to please do something down there to help out a little bit.
okay, so let me
Fire
jump in
safety.
here a bit. So I'm the.
Chair Papalato, can I just make a procedural
Sure.
point for the last petition, and it would probably apply to this one? You need 2 readings for stop signs, except for the here-to-corner ones, I think. So that one you just passed recently will need a second reading at the Traffic Commission, and then it would have to go to City Council for final approval, just to let everyone know. And if this one gets approved or any stop sign, the same thing would happen with this one.
Well, I'm just asking for a no parking sign.
I
Yeah.
was just letting them know for the stop sign. Sorry, I had it asked now. If I didn't say it now, I'd forget.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm the city councilor in that ward, and I'm frequently by there. You pointed that out the other day when I walked through the area. That's, from a Mass DOT standpoint, it's a top 5% crash intersection, and there's work going on to look at other alternatives, but this would be a small step in the right direction, but just a small step.
Yeah, I mean, anything to help. I mean, like you said, they go through the stop sign anyway. That's the cause of the majority of the accidents. But it will just stop people from parking right to that corner. So it gives them a little bit of visibility. If there's a car there, you're stuck.
Yeah, so that meeting with the DOT, I was present, I believe a couple of the people here were present, and they have a pretty robust process they're going through right now for that intersection. Everything from changing the elevation, I mean, we're talking big stuff, to stoplights, to rumble strips, to narrowing the road with lines. They said that visually makes people slow down. So there's a pretty intensive process, I know, going on right now with that intersection with engineers from the state. Pretty big team working on that. So I'm not sure where that is right now with their process, or if this would be interfering in it, but I know it's being looked at seriously for numerous improvements, everything from lights to, like I said, redoing the whole intersection. So I know that's currently in process, but as we know, the state moves slow, so I don't know what the commission can do, the city can do between now and then.
Right, as a stopgap to help
area,
out, yeah.
Because we did a field trip with the state and everything. It was, and almost witnessed numerous incidents while we were there. It's a hairy intersection.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Counselor DeMambro?
Through the chair, Superintendent Duran, would it behoove us just to put that no parking from here to corner in the interim between now and the time they start, construction and all of that? Because that could be at least, a year or two out?
We're not sure of it. We don't have, there is no time frame right now. So, am I seeing that correctly? Is that a yellow paint mark on the curb? On the berm?
Yep.
Okay. So basically, somebody must have measured it before, so most likely there'd be a sign right there.
I did, like I said, Alderman Maderas, we tried that years ago, and it did fail. There is a bump, my house is right at the corner, there is a bump right on Nashua Street, and it's, when they come flying down Holton and hit that bump, you can hear the front end of the car. It's like, well, slow down. So, I mean, the bump is great because it does attract that driver's attention. But I think I'm more worried about somebody, it's been too close to call when you have the landscaping trucks parked there. You can't see.
So Clerk King is to make sure that I do things procedurally correct, if we were to do so. By ordinance, we can do a 20 feet, no parking, hit a corner. So, unless
Because
just,
it's already a law.
it's already a law. So we could theoretically put a,
To my knowledge, that's just to my
if
recollection.
that were 20 feet, you could theoretically put that at the, no parking, hit a corner sign right up tomorrow. I want to be procedurally correct.
To my recollection, because it's already in the law, you don't need to have any, in the past, like I said, in the last petition for the similar thing, the commission has voted to pass that because there was some pushback. You started here, you started everywhere. You have to
Okay.
do it everywhere.
Okay.
But if you wanted to do it, I think a simple vote here would be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Counselor DeMambro?
You want to make the motion on it? Chairman Papalato?
Before you do that, Counselor Mercer Bruin would like to speak on this.
Hello again. Thank you for letting me speak. And Darlene Mercer Bruin, Ward 5 City Councilor, 22 Richard Circle. Painfully familiar with this intersection and the work that's been going on regarding Mass DOT and looking at this intersection has in large part to do with Councilor Papalato and getting that going. I'm a little worried to hear that there's no timeline, but we can address that at another time, maybe in one of the project meetings. But I thank you, Councilor Papalato, because this is one of the most dangerous intersections in the city, if not the most dangerous. So I implore you to not wait for the bigger solution. We have the authority and the responsibility to do something smaller for today, rather than just waiting. We waited long enough over there. So I implore you to please take action today. Thank you.
I'll make the motion.
Could I just,
I withdraw.
I just want to be clear here. We're talking about a no parking here to corner, not a stop sign, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I'm in favor of a stop sign. The no parking here to corner, I'm
I hear
okay
you.
with.
Go ahead.
is it okay for me to make the motion, Chairman?
Make a motion.
I will make the motion that a no parking from here to corner sign be erected at that site on the corner of Montvale and Nashua, Green and Nashua, I'm sorry.
Do we have a second?
It's on
All in favor?
Nashua, at Green?
No, on
Green.
green.
On Green.
Thank you.
And Nashua.
For discussion.
It's actually on green.
Thank you. I just want- that's
On
all.
green, 20 feet from Nashua.
Yes.
More
20 feet.
discussion?
Can we repaint the curb? too?
Westerly.
Would it be possible to
Right across.
paint the curb yellow? Would that also help
Yes, I was just gonna say that, paint the curb in addition
at the
to.
same time?
I suppose, anybody that parks there is crazy.
Okay. Well, there's landscaping trucks that park there. That's what I've seen, and they're big trucks, and they block everything. I mean, it's just exacerbating the situation.
But if
so.
we have the sign there, I think police can either make the move or tow them.
We can do that, definitely. I have seen the landscapers, they're there, you know, to do yard maintenance, and then they leave. I don't see people, like, residents parking out there. But I have seen the landscapers, and I'm in 100% agreement with the petitioner that that intersection's, it's insane.
So do we want to amend the motion to include
I can amend the
painting?
motion so that it states, make a motion to erect a no parking from here to the corner on Green Street at Nashua, and also to paint, refresh the paint, the yellow paint on the curb.
Okay.
Paint
Do
yellow
we have a
curb.
second on that?
Yes. Second,
Second?
second.
There was a second, yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes.
Now you need the main motion. That was an amended motion, so you need the main motion now.
Sorry, but I can't hear you.
So, you need the main motion. You just did the amendments. The amendment was approved, so now you have to do the main motion for the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, so the main motion
We already
is,
have it, it's already on the floor. I just need someone to call it to a vote.
okay. So
On the main motion,
on the main motion, call for a vote
someone, yes, the chair.
through the
All-
chair.
All in favor? Like,
All in favor?
Call for a vote?
yes. Just say all, can you say all in favor?
Just say all in favor.
Say all in favor, please?
All in favor?
Aye.
That
Thank you.
passes. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Robert's rules.
There is nothing else on the agenda, but I believe Commissioner Duran would like to add something.
I'd like to make a motion to amend one of the rules and orders of the Woburn Traffic Commission to change the start time to 3 PM. We've talked about it a bunch of times. I think 3 PM is more
Yep.
appropriate, definitely for Public Works. I just haven't been able to make a lot of the meetings, and things, it seems to like keep things on the table that don't need to be on the table. 3 o'clock would certainly be a big help.
Okay. I think generally, I'm in favor, others can speak on it as well, but one concern I have is the public getting here on time. So I don't know if people share that same concern or not, but I'll open it up to the group.
I think it's kind of early, especially for people that are getting out of work. You know? I mean, I know I'll have trouble getting here at 3 o'clock, but people that have been coming in with a petition, I think might be have a bit of a problem, you know? 4 o'clock's kind of early to begin with, but cut it back another hour.
Okay. Anyone else?
I agree, I just think, I don't know how people that work are gonna get here at 3 o'clock.
So you're saying leave it where it is?
I'd rather have it, 4 o'clock seems more fair to the people.
Okay. Anyone else want to speak on this? Can we get a motion?
There is a motion, but there was no second.
All in favor?
No, there was no second.
Oh, no second. Okay, I guess that dies.
Seeing nothing, there's nothing else on the agenda.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Second?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
We're adjourned.